What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon Kindle and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link in the description box also. They asked me to put it up. I put it up. This video, though, is entitled Dealing with a Deprogrammed Black Man. From time to time when I make videos, I'll get comments. Sometimes from old videos that I forgot I put up, because I put up a lot of videos. And sometimes comments from other videos that I've commented on, and sometimes from videos that I put up quite recently, where black women or women, effeminate black men, or homosexual black men respond in a way where they like I'm programmed, and it's funny to me because a lot of those particular groups of people do not understand that everybody isn't programmed to think like a black woman. Every black man isn't programmed to be black female first. Okay, and some people and some guys have gotten deprogrammed from thinking black female first. So what winds up happening is people have this arrogant, idiotic type ideology where they're like, I'm a woman or I'm effeminate, so you should be thinking like a woman or you should be thinking effeminate. And it's like, huh? Like I'm not a matriarch. I'm a patriarch. So even when I deal with women in my own family or women or my child's mother, it's a hard time. One of the hardest conversations to have is the conversation of you talking to me like I'm a girl, or because I was raised because I grew up with a single mother, like I'm gonna do what you say as a woman because you're a single mother. Like, no, it's not gonna happen. You're dealing with a guy who isn't programmed, And for me, it's different because I was more so of a latchkey kid. So I had to do a lot of my own self-raising to a degree. But like I said before, I was raised by my grandparents. So a lot of my lessons came from older people, right? So older people are more patriarchal than the generations after them, because people seem to forget that. Like part of that Reconstruction, Jim Crow, Civil Rights era, that was more patriarchal than it is today. So my mindset is more so that, and and I've noticed dealing with people, well, shouldn't you be thinking like this? Shouldn't you say it like this? Shouldn't you do it like this? Shouldn't you cater to the woman like this? Like, no. What are you talking about? Like, have you, and it's funny because now people have a hard time because they feel kind of entitled to you putting your self-interest on the back burner for them. So they're working for their self-interest and they expect you to work for their self-interest. And when you're working for your self-interest first, it's insulting to them. Like, how dare you, care about you first? It's like, okay, you think you're really making sense right now, huh? And unfortunately, they do think they're making sense. What you should be doing is you should be doing this. You're not, and this is where you go into these conversations where you're not a real man would do what I would want a real man to do, which is a dumb ideology. So you're a woman, you're an effeminate guy, you know, you're a woman, you're a lesbian, you're a feminine guy, you're a homosexual, and you want to tell me as a heterosexual black man what I need to be doing to be considered a real man. And you actually think that makes sense. Like, if you do what I say, that's gonna make you a real man. You ain't a real man. And unfortunately, it's really like a passive aggressive war, because a lot of these groups can't do nothing. They just can't do anything with a patriarchal masculine man. So what they were expecting was these for grown men to still have this child programming to be mommy first, kind of church-esque, Mother's Day everybody shows up, Father's Day nobody shows up, that type of thing. Like when mama said, when somebody talks about your mama, that's fighting words. When somebody talks about your daddy, I don't like that dude no way. So they expect you as an adult to be like that too. So when you bring up your mom, what would your mama say? You hit me with the kryptonite. What would mother want? It's like, no. Because what winds up happening is you get deprogrammed because mom's ideology doesn't work for men. See, when you're a heterosexual man, a matriarchal ideology doesn't work in the world. So you're basically telling somebody to do something that is ineffective, and at some point they're gonna keep doing it and realize it's ineffective, and then they're gonna do something more manly, masculine, and patriarchal, and it works because the world that we live in is patriarchal. It's not matriarchal. It's not. So, because men have to take all the risk. Men have to put themselves on the lines. Like, matriarchs aren't sacrificing for men. Matriarchs aren't going out and molding the world to what their sons want it to be. You get what I'm saying? It's not happening. So by default, you've been indoctrinated in a losing system because you're not built. Nobody's going to do it for you. This is why I say, the women, the lesbians, the effeminate men, and the gay men, they always want these guys to be a real man to do something for them because they have given into the idea that they aren't capable of creating the world that they want. So the best option they got is to program and try to shame a guy into doing their bidding. And then, at some point these guys figure out that you won't do anything for me and you can't do anything for me. I'm the only one of value in this situation. And the only thing you got hold of me is programming. So what winds up happening is, now people are dealing with a guy that's deprogrammed. And it's a culture shock. Because part of the problem is when people talk about what have you done for the community, part of the split is you got black men who are deprogrammed to being matriarchal minds, deprogrammed from being matriarchal minded, and they're patriarchal minded, and they realize, the men who are still matriarchal minded, they don't have the skill set to fix the community. Their mothers don't know how to get them to a place to have the skill set to fix their community. So the guys who are more patriarchal minded, they have the skill set to fix the community, but you can't shame these guys. So now what? It's a stalemate. Because to a degree, the community wrote the community's alligator mouth wrote a check that his canary ass couldn't cash. So, problems. And then, personally, I deal with this on a personal level because people, the women I know have even no matter how feminine or how masculine they are, there's only so far you're gonna go with me. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's only so far. So it's a situation where I can't get him to be woman first, and it's like, no, you can't. You're not gonna be able to do that. You know, and because this is a problem, what you notice is women get angry and those groups get very angry and belligerent and throw tantrums. And for men like me, it's hilarious because you throwing a tantrum because you're not getting your way, and you throwing a tantrum because you can't do anything to fix your own situation. See, all you can do is talk. And talking ain't never got nothing done. And they're like, well, what have you done? And it's like, well, I can do a lot. I'm just not going to do it for you. I'm not going to do it for your benefit. Because if I do it, I'm going to do it for me and my benefit. And you're going to have to come along and fall in line. And if you can't do that, it ain't getting done for you, and it's not getting done around you so you can benefit off of it. There you go. So, because what winds up happening is I get these type of messages that have people tell me the steps I need to take to be more of a man. And what it looks like is these are the steps I need to take to be more matriarchal minded and programmed so they can use me for their benefit. And to them, they don't see a problem with that. They don't even see that they're doing it. And I'm laughing like, right, okay. Yeah, I'm going to do all the things you say, and I'm going to be a real man so I can upgrade your whole life for nothing. Yeah. Ain't I a man? It's not happening. So now you got people dealing with a deprogrammed black man, and it's like, and it spills over into other communities because other communities kind of, this is part of the feminism people don't talk about. Other communities try to use these men because they figure, what, these women program these guys. If I could just follow the protocol, they'll do what I want. So it goes from being matriarchal minded first to everybody else using that matriarchal mindset to manipulate these guys to do what these other communities want too. And then that's a problem because we don't do that either. It's like, man, get out of here with that. Go try that with somebody else. And then it's like, he's uncontrollable. He's rogue. He's untamable. Why? Because, all of these groups realize we have to outcast, shun, or exile these deprogrammed black men because they're more competition than sidekick. So, we out. Peace.